The environment is like our mother. It's what has brought us up. We've lived in it. I guess the environment is sort of connected to everyone. We have to protect the environment so that our future generations can also see it to where it is today.
Environment is important because a healthy environment means a healthy people, healthy community, and a healthy ecosystem.
Discussion on solid waste management has existed among communities for a long time now. The conversation has often been steered towards protecting the health of the population, preserving natural resources, promoting environmental quality, and paving the way for the establishment of a sustainable development platform. Cities in developing countries find it harder to keep up with these goals, Mombasa City being one such example.
The government of Kenya, through Article 42 of the Constitution, has guaranteed a clean and healthy environment for the people. This includes the right to have the environment protected for present and future generations.
Environment is something that we need to take care of because we only have one, and we need to take care of it so that we can leave it for future generations to come.
For Mombasa County, solid waste management challenges include the emergence of illegal dumping sites within residential and public areas, causing several social and health problems, not to mention the degradation of the aesthetic beauty of the county. Low-income communities, especially people living in informal settlements, bear majority of the brunt. Residents of Ziwa Lang'ombe area in Nyali sub-county particularly have decried the illegal dumping at VOK premises in the area.
When the environment is polluted, it accumulates toxins. And for example, in Mombasa, because of the illegal dumping of waste, you'll hear the community having disease outbreaks such as chikungunya. This is also affiliated to the waste that is illegally dumped in residential areas and open spaces.
Rampant illegal dumping at VOK has been associated to several health issues among residents in the area, prompting some residents to act, writing to the county government through the county commissioner to have the dump site removed.
Tulikuja tukakaa kama wanakijiji na tukakaa na wakaaji wa hapa, wakachagua mambo kama zaidi ya 15 wakidai kwamba kwanza usalama wao kwa hatarini, pili wadudu ama watu kama mbu wako hapa ni wengi, inzi ni wengi, wanapoishi maisha yako yako hatarini, ile harufu ambayo inatoka hapa ni nyingi, ukiangalia wanaokaa hapa inakuwa ni ngumu kabisa. Wakati wa mvua yale maradhi ambayo yanakumba watoto na watu wazima ni matatizo.
Hii environment ya takataka kikweli ina affect community yetu sote, na si hapa VOK peke yake, Kisimani, Bombolulu. Sababu nini? Ikichomeka taka kuna kitu inaitwa, kuna hii air pollution ina affect sisi na watoto wadogo. Watoto wadogo wakivuta ile pumzi ya moshi ina affect kifo.
According to the county government, Mombasa produces more than 1,000 tons of garbage every day. Studies indicate that about 65% of the waste gets collected, while 35% gets burnt, dumped on the streets, drained in the ocean, or left unattended at transfer stations. Difficulty in managing the waste has been attributed to the population size, as well as the surplus population of the people simply passing by.
Of course, as a city, we are faced with numerous challenges. One of the challenges we face as a county in Mombasa is we have a floating population. A floating population are people who come during the day to work in Mombasa, but at night they go and reside in the neighboring counties. The reason why I'm bringing up that is that influences the waste that we receive, because we will be budgeting for 1.2 people who live in Mombasa, but you have 400,000 people who come during the day that will litter also.
To achieve a sustainable, clean and green environment, the 2021-2022 Mombasa County budget allocated over 917 million Kenya shillings to the Department of Environment, Solid Waste and Energy. Of this, 270 million shillings was allocated to the management of solid waste. Among the areas the budget emphasized were the rehabilitation of the VOK dump site, fencing of the Mwakirunge dump site, construction of a transfer point at the yard, total truck overhaul and maintenance, among other areas.
Preparing our annual development plan for 2019 to 2022, one of the things we needed to have done was put up fence within the perimeter of the dump site. That was in our plan. We went to the residents of Mwakirungi, the people who live around our dump site areas, and they approved. So we added it into our budget. However, when you go somewhere, you say, this is what I want to do. But it has to be supported with the money that comes from treasuries and the like. And also the demands of the department. The current demand of the department at that juncture was, number one, making sure that those trucks were running. To start with, around 20 when actually the 2017, when the second time came, I believe we had 4 trucks as a county.
To keep in line with their goals, the county managed a complete overhaul of their garbage truck fleet, adding 24 more trucks to help with transferring garbage from the transfer stations to the Mwakirunge and Shonda landfills.
We increased our fleet. We increased our fleet from 4. We are currently at around 24. At any given time, approximately 20 are running. Our intention was to at least have each and every ward in Mombasa County served by a truck.
A zoning policy was created by the county government where garbage collection was assigned to the collectors on a zone-by-zone basis. However, this idea was not well received by the private garbage collection players in the county, who went to court to stop the implementation of the policy.
Take you back to our environment bill and policy, which we did. In that bill and policy, we talked about zoning of Mombasa. When we said we will be zoning Mombasa, we wanted to support the youth, and we still. That is one of the visions for His Excellency the Governor. However, we were taken to court by a few of the people who are the garbage collectors. I believe it's because probably it was from selfish interest on their part, because when you zone a place and you say zone A is for one person, zone B is for one person, zone C is for one person, we say that the county, at least 8 zones, leave it for the youth. But the youth comes with a challenge, the financial challenge. So we as county wanted to support them with our trucks. Then they can be able to collect with the honey cans or the likes, but we give them a truck attached to those youth groups that are there.
Waste, there's a cartel in waste. There's a very strong cartel in waste at a county or easy. So when this cartel found out the county is trying to zone, it meant that those guys cannot go into this zone. They're only given one zone. Hakuna mtu atakubali. Like for us, you'd tell us, you cannot go to your clients in Nyali now. You will only be in Kizingo. It was not taken well at all.
Despite the steps being taken, there remains challenges with Kisauni and Nyali areas where the truck services continuously fail to reach the designated transfer stations, leading to huge garbage pileups. The county's program outputs and performance indicators for solid waste management put standard garbage collection and procurement of trucks and machinery for efficient waste collection through improved number of waste collection trips as having been delivered by 100%. However, on the ground, things are far from perfect.
The idea of coming up with a transfer station has really significantly reduced the amount of waste that is illegally dumped in open spaces. Because what we do, we have tuk-tuks as well. And those with mikokoteni, the illegal, informal sector, they take the waste to the Mombasa County transfer station, and then the county sends their trucks to get the waste off us and send it to the landfill. If that was not in place, Mombasa County would have been really, really dirty.
In the transfer stations, we are saying the people who are using the mkokotenis cannot take it to Mwakirunge, but then let us take our trucks closer to them so that from the mkokoteni they can take it to the truck and the truck can take it. So it is a noble idea and it's working in a few areas, but in a few areas we need to increase our fleet so that we can cover. From Vita, it's working well. For Likoni, it is 70% working. For Changamwe and Jomvu, it's working. We are having a challenge at Kwasonko in Kisauni and VOK in the Nyali area.
Figures present in the county budget documents lack clarity, especially with regard to the maintenance aspect for the trucks. 30 million Kenya shillings has been set aside for the use of goods and services, but a description is lacking. With a huge wage bill of over 345 million Kenya shillings for 528 employees, one would expect better service delivery. Trucks breaking down and lack of fuel have been mentioned as reasons for trucks failing to collect garbage at VOK. However, a bigger problem exists that hinders the clearance of illegal dumping sites in the county.
On the illegal dump site of the people who are doing, we have closed several illegal dumps, but it has not been sustainable to close all these dump sites, especially when the land is not a public land. When it is a public land and it's for public good, it belongs to the county government, it's easy for us. Yeah, but it will be difficult for us to budget to go and clean a private piece of land. It does not add up the math, or it's not the proper use of government resources.
The VOK dumping site sits on land allegedly belonging to the government broadcaster KBC. Being private land, the county has had difficulty in getting permission to clear the area. Given that they have budgeted for the rehabilitation of the piece of land and they have cleared the area on 3 previous occasions, residents wonder why not just turn it into a transfer station.
Mvutano wao hapa VOK ni kule VOK na county ambao sisi hatuhusu. Sisi tuliambiwa mahali kwa kumwaga taka ni VOK, si ndio? Sasa sisi tutafanya nini? Lakini sasa zile taka hapa tukaambiwa ni dump station, tuliambiwa ni transfer. Na transfer nilikuwa gari zije zikibeba taka hapa zikipeleka Mwakirungi, lakini hatu ni gari sisi.
The issue of VOK, let me be categorically and state nicely. We cleared VOK 3 times as government. VOK is not a designated dump site. Yeah, we supported the youth which were over there by taking our trucks to them. So because we know they cannot take the Mpokoteni to Mwakirunge. So there was a time we were supporting them by taking our trucks over there. On the VOK issue, we need to address. Yeah, because with devolved functions, there are things which were devolved. And one of the things which were devolved is land. Yeah, I want to categorically state that as government, we are ready to fence for them, but we have not gotten that support.
Fees charged on the informal sector for access to the transfer stations have also been attributed to the cropping up of illegal dumping sites, with garbage collectors calling for a reduction or complete removal of the fees.
The informal sector are living hand to mouth. They don't have enough money to pay to the county to get to the transfer stations. So they would prefer to just get an open space, dump it where people cannot see, or where there's no police officer around. They'll just dump it there because they don't need to pay money. I strongly believe that if it was reduced or completely removed, the license fees, maybe the entire informal sector would come to the county transfer stations.
With all these challenges being faced by the county, there have been significant steps towards ridding the county of solid waste. The Kibarani Miracle Park, for example, has been one success story which saw the rehabilitation and transformation of the notorious Kibarani dump site, which was situated right at the gateway to Mombasa besides the Makupa Causeway.
I believe you can see Kibarani for yourself. Yeah, it's something that has moved not only from the county, now it's something that is considered as Vision 2030 for the president. So it's something that as a county we are proud. But we have not said that we have finished Kibarani. We are still doing other works within Kibarani because that was a dump site for 50 years.
Apart from rehabilitation exercises, waste-to-energy plants may be considered as a mitigation measure for solid waste, especially within the landfills.
Late 2020, I had a plan of using landfills in Mombasa to cause a better purpose. And As of recently, I've been thinking about how landfill energy can be converted into methane gas, and this methane gas can be used to create electricity and petroleum, which at current state, most people can't afford.
Our CIDP program, you will note that we did a plan of even having a waste to energy plant. We have not yet done that, but it does not mean that it was not planned for. It's something that we plan and something that we need to pass it to the mantle to the person who is coming next.
The private sector can come in and heavily invest in a waste to energy plant in Mombasa, so that whatever residual waste is remaining, it can be sent to the plant and you can generate energy from it.
Environmental conservation is a collective responsibility between the community, the private sector, and government. Best practices in solid waste management, such as recycling, segregation, waste-to-energy programs, go a long way in ensuring sustainable development. This has been a Gillytics Media production.